bit of fun speculation. I don't even know if you would classify this as fun speculation, but I remember somebody had asked me in a comment to make a video about this, and then I saw a report that said that the New England Patriots were already planning to move on from Bill Belichick after the loss in Germany to the Giants, I believe was what the game was. And somebody had left a comment saying, hey, you should talk about the possibility of Bill Belichick coming to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And at first I was like, I'll screenshot it. I'll put it in the back of my mind. But now I want to talk about it, Billy. It's time to talk about it. Bill Belichick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Billy. If the Bucs, this is a big if, decide to move on from Todd Bowles, would they take a swing at Bill Belichick? What are your
All right,
initial thoughts and opinions?
I need clarity and context. Is the question Todd Bowles versus Bill Belichick
No.
or Coach X versus Bill Belichick?
It is if Todd Bowles is fired, would the Tampa Bay Buccaneers be interested in bringing in Bill Belichick to coach this football team?
So it's not what I think is best. It's just what do I think the Bucs would make the move?
You could also say what you think is best.
I think it's a bad idea.
Okay.
But Jason Light, there's ties
Because
to
there's
make.
two different opinions you can give. What you want to happen and what you ultimately think the organization would want.
Okay, I think at the core, the Buccaneers would love for nothing more than for Todd Bowles to make the playoffs so they don't have to fire him. That's what I think they want to have happen. For myself personally, I think the Buccaneers should, with all due respect, I think Bill Belichick is the greatest football coach I have ever seen coach football. I still think he's a great coach. With all due respect, please, no. Because I just, he, as a GM, sabotages himself as a coach. And unless he would come to Tampa and be willing to not wear that GM cap, I think it's a bad idea. I don't.
I have a
I go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
have I have a couple of thoughts. A couple. Okay. The first thing I think is whenever I think of this is like we don't even know the obvious is we don't even know if Todd Bowles is getting fired yet. Right?
Yeah.
We don't know. The second thing and let me start off by my opinion. My opinion, bad idea. I think that Bill Belichick's stock has this might be a hot take. I think his stock has plummeted since Brady left.
Yes.
Plummeted. Whereas everybody thought he was undisputed, undeniably the GOAT. Every single year that you see Belichick without Brady, it raises more questions, in my opinion. Okay? In my opinion. And it's just something to think about. It's just something to consider, Billy. And you kind of winced at that. But look, in my opinion, that's just what I feel like. I feel like Belichick's stock has been going down more and more and more and more and more that we've not seen him with the greatest player of all time on his roster, right?
Yeah, but he made Tom Brady at the same time. So I think Bill Belichick, yes, his stock is down, but I hate saying I don't want to disrespect a legend. I just feel like
I'll
it
do it.
happens. It happens. It happens to everyone, but I feel like the game has
Does
kind of
it?
the
Does it
game has
happen to everyone?
games passed him by. Like I think Bill Belichick is not. He has not transitioned kindly towards new age NFL. Now, why I think he's still great in game, on the field, on the sideline, in terms of using strategy, timeouts, challenges as a defensive, coordinator. I think Bill Belichick is excellent. I think I would, like I said, I think he's best in the league in terms of just that moment. I think he's flawless. It's all the other stuff that comes with Bill Belichick that I'm not confident in. And I just think building the team the way he's going to want to build the team, that's not realistic for today's NFL. And that's why I think the game has it's passed him by a little. I personally.
Another thing for me, I don't know if I trust Bill Belichick to grow and develop a roster anymore.
Right.
Minus a few. No, no, no. What I mean by that is even if he wasn't making the decisions
Oh,
in terms of
sure.
in terms of creating the roster, I don't trust him to develop players
Yes.
besides a few defensive guys.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
may be a hot take, it may not be, but do I trust Bill Belichick to cultivate and grow an environment for a rookie quarterback if the Buccaneers decide to go that route? No. Do I trust him to grow and develop any type of environment of an offense that doesn't have Tom Brady in it? No. I don't trust that right now.
Yeah.
Defensively, I know that he could probably really increase guys as pass rushers. In secondary members, we've seen him develop defensive guys, but it's a multiple. I just wouldn't trust him to bring in guys to grow and develop the other sides of the football. That's where I think you'd be running into some issues. Whenever I think about the organizational thoughts behind it and whether or not they would want to do that, would the Glaziers be interested? Yeah, I mean the Glaziers always want to go for big names. Honestly, heck, Billy, we may be making a video in a week or two about Jim Harbaugh. I don't know, but the one thing that would get me and it makes me say that I don't even think the organization would be interested. Yes, Jason Light has loads of connections to Bill Belichick. The first thing is this: would Jason Light be okay with just saying, go ahead,
Like,
take the reins to build a roster if Bill wants that? Maybe Bill doesn't want that. And then you get into an entirely different conversation. But we've never seen him not want that. So based on previous evidence, you got to assume Bill Belichick would want control of the roster. I don't see Jason Light giving that up. I think Jason Light is a GM that wants to have a coach that trusts him to build the roster. And I think that that is notable and that's interesting there, right? Secondly, is, and this is more so of the case of Bill Belichick, might not even be interested in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You just got done hearing Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick, Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick, and then Bill Belichick leaves the Patriots and goes to the team where the guy that
yeah.
that he potentially, allegedly, may have gotten rid of or wanted to get rid of went and won a Super Bowl. You're just gonna follow his coattails like that? I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'll give you my counter to that would be my most incorrect take maybe of all time, at least especially since I've been doing YouTube or covering sports, was I thought there was no way. I would have bet anything I'm not a betting man, James, but I would have bet anything you wanted to bet. There was a 0% chance Aaron Rodgers was going to the Jets. And Aaron Rodgers wound up on the Jets. And years, people might forget because, we're not of maybe that generation, but Aaron Rodgers versus Brett Favre was a major thing in Green Bay for the longest time. And Aaron Rodgers didn't care at all to do exactly what Brett Favre did to the Packers. He went and did the same exact thing and wound up in the same exact place. So
I
you
get
never
where
know.
you're going with this, but I think that's different because Favre, what, he last 1 year and fizzled out in the Jets before he went to Minnesota and really started to get going back again.
Yeah, but
Like, I think the difference here's the difference.
Aaron Rodgers quite literally is doing the same thing. I
Correct,
just
but the
yeah,
diff correct, but the difference is that Brady went to Tampa and was a success.
okay, that's fair.
Favre went to New York and flopped.
Well, he got hurt. If you
He
remember, they were very good halfway
my
through the season.
my point exactly though. If Favre went there and won a Super Bowl,
I guess that's a good point. It's
people would be like, well, I mean, hey, kind of Favre did it first, buddy. And that's what people would say.
yeah,
Oh, Bill Belichick's going to the Bucs. Well, Brady did it first.
yeah, that's a good point. I just don't.
And
To me, I think the Bucs, from an ownership standpoint, the only thing that they would look at it and maybe argue like for Belichick would be, does Bill Belichick sell tickets? And to me, I don't think so. I think if he wins, it sells tickets, but I think that's the case for any coach. Any coach, if you bring him in and Bucks start winning,
I
tickets gonna start.
I would disagree with that. I think he would sell tickets
You
per
do.
se. I do. But the thing that gets me, I would go to a game and see Bill Belichick in a freaking Bucks gear. But here's the thing that gets me. One, I don't trust Bill Belichick to build a roster. And if that is what he wants, I don't think that I certainly would not want to see that. And I don't think the Jason Light would want to see that either. Okay? Two, even if Bill Belichick said, I don't need control of the roster. Would the Bucs be more interested? Absolutely. I think that raises up their interest dramatically. But I don't trust Bill Belichick to grow and cultivate a roster in the modern day NFL anymore, okay? And 3, Bill Belichick, following just a year, 2 years after Tom Brady goes and wins a Super Bowl and has this magical run with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know if that I wouldn't say that would tarnish his legacy, so to speak, because I think that is too dramatic, but it would raise some questions and have
Well,
people kind of roll their eyes
he would have to come to Tampa and
and
win a
win a
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
That's
Right.
it.
And
There
I
is no there
and
is no other alternative option there.
and I just don't think it, maybe some people would disagree. I don't think we're going to see Bill Belichick in that type of conversation for the rest of his coaching career.
No, and
Unless he goes somewhere, if he goes somewhere with already a star quarterback, like if he goes to like the Chargers or something with Justin
the,
Herbert and Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack and all those dogs, like
the
maybe,
the problem.
but
Belichick's reputation is negative from a player standpoint. Remember when Stafford got traded from the Lions and he said, "Trade me anywhere besides the Patriots. I don't want to play for Bill Belichick." Like that is not he's not going to be a one-off thinking that. So players Bill's reputation precedes him, and players don't necessarily not a lot not every it takes a specific type of player to be willing to show up to work and be like dictated to like you're in the military and your coach is your drill sergeant. That's not what everyone wants out of their football life. And, now Bill's kind of lost the cachet of winning to excuse that. Back in the day, well, not even that long ago, but back in the Brady times, it was like, yeah, we're going to be militant, but we win every year. So, you kind of got to pick and choose. It's like, yeah, work might be cold, hard, boring, and long and arduous, but I'm getting a Super Bowl every 3 years. And those other 2 years, I'm 1, 2 games away from the Super Bowl. So that's that's gone, at least in the immediate, thought process of a lot of people. Not saying he could never get back, but in the immediate thought process, you don't think automatically if you add Bill Belichick, you're a Super Bowl contender. And because of that, do people want to put up with the rest of it? I wouldn't think so.
Chad put it best, by the way, and we'll end it with this. He sabotaged Mac Jones with a special teams guy and a defensive guy calling offensive plays. I mean,
Let me,
that just speaks
and
for itself.
I got to defend. Let me throw one more defense of Bill Belichick. All
Okay.
right. Bill Belichick has he built Tom Brady is like his Frankenstein to me personally. He built Tom Brady. You could say Tom Brady was always Tom Brady, but he was not drafted high. He was not even a full-time starter at Michigan and wasn't even a starter when he first got into the league. So yes, Tom Brady gets credit for his own development, but Bill Belichick deserves a lot of credit there too, right? He built Tom Brady. That's the GOAT quarterback. He also built and developed the GOAT tight end. Rob Gronkowski was not a first-round pick. He was talented, of course, super athletic, but he built Rob Gronkowski and helped develop him, along with Tom, who will get credit there too, into the GOAT tight end. And when he was a defensive coordinator, right, he had arguably the GOAT defensive player as well because he coached Lawrence Taylor. So, yes, Bill Belichick is certainly capable of developing players. I don't want to make it sound like the man can't coach. He obviously can coach. I just think personally, even with all that on his resume, I just feel like it's not a good match. I just don't think it's a good fit. It's puzzle pieces that don't align.
I agree. So no, I agree. And look, the reason we talk about it is because sometimes there are situations in life where you gotta put cold water on a situation essentially and say, no, none of that. Stop that right now. And that's going to be some discussion. I wanted to talk about it today just to bring it up and just say, like, guys, no, 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 no. And definitely just wanted to bring that up and talk about that. So there you have it. We both think that Bill Belichick shouldn't be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach. It wouldn't be in their best interest. May just want to go elsewhere or retire. I don't know. Maybe do that also.